I'm sending refreshment today,
Okay.
and then I'll ask him to ship for you.
I'm not going to read the slides,
Thank you.
so you guys can read them just fine.
I can't.
True, true. So for you, it's mumble, 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 German, French, mumble, mumble, mumble. Okay. No. Basically, the scoring is we had 117 phone, 256 digital, 617 total contacts, and yes, Barbara, I am reading the screen.
That's okay. You need to, because there are people who can't see.
Yeah, we had 14 contacts on the GOTA station. So our numbers are not real high. We kind of did really well on the bonus points, 1,380 bonus points. There were like 4 categories that we didn't get because elected officials never come out in public anymore.
Just kidding, might get shot.
Yeah, we were Class A, so we didn't have another document where you had a responsible party responsible for the environment, etc. Anyway, there were a couple more that we didn't get, but 1,380 points. We had 5 youth members, 3 of them made contacts. Our total score is like 26. There's more information about the GOTA participation. And it's gone. Tom? Go back.
Keep going.
There it is, final score, 2638. So, Terry has some hot wash items that he's going to talk about, but before we get to Terry's stuff, I wanted to say that even though we didn't have as many queues as we normally had, we had a lot better engagement, we had a lot better public participation than we've had in probably 10 years. So I want to thank, I'm sorry.
A special thanks to Bill for the Ghana station. That was that thing was hopping all day long.
Yep. We had an excellent field day. Nobody got hurt. Nobody had any ambulances needing to be called or anything else. I didn't even see any Band-Aid needs happening. So we did really great. I want to thank everybody that was there and showed up. And even if you just visited, thank you for coming in. So.
How does it compare to last year?
More engagement, the question was, how did it compare to last year? More engagement, more participation, more activities, more learning going on, why the antenna was where it was, how the antenna was set up, why that antenna was chosen. Those are the kinds of questions that we had from the new people that were there. There were at least 5 people there that don't come to our meetings, but came to help out at field day and to ask questions and learn. So I would say we head and shoulders above any previous one as far as learning and actual engagement with new hands.
Not as many points?
Not as many points.
Okay.
Better on the bonus points, not as better on the actual scoring points. You noticed, I don't know if you noticed, because I kind of blew through it, we didn't have any CW. Okay? Maybe that'll get changed for next year, but things just didn't work out this year. Yes, sir.
Didn't we get CW credits from the other guys that with the club affiliation thing?
Yes, and that I won't see until they actually publish.
So we actually do have more points then.
Maybe. The reason I say maybe is I don't count birds until they hatch. But there are people that did not come to field day that may have operated from their homes and affiliated with Oklahoma City Auto Patch Association, in which case their points get added to our total, but not to the W5MEL score. Does that make sense? So, anyway, any questions from anybody?
I'm good.
Okay, Terry.
Coordinating this again this year. I appreciate it. It was a successful field day, thanks mostly to you.
Thank you.
I think you'll do it again next year.
Funny you should mention that. My goal is to not be #1 next year. However, whoever steps up, I will be there to help. I will be your #2, your adjutant, your gopher, your radar, whatever you want to call it. I'll be there to help, but I do not want to be in charge again. I've been in charge every year but one since 2014. Time for somebody else to be in charge.
I think a little more experience would be good.
They haven't fired me yet, so I'm not doing too bad.
You haven't got a pay
Do you
raise
want
yet.
us to fire
Yeah.
you?
Something about you can't fire slaves that have to be shot or sold.
That's true, that's true.
Okay, reason for an after-action report, or a hot wash as we call it in ham speak, is not to point fingers, make blame, and say, hey, what can we do? What did we see? What did we think we did that next time we can do better? Because we're on the road to try to make it better, not to get angry at people for something they should have done or should have known. And I'm the recipient of a couple of these negative. What I did is I polled the people that were there and I said, what didn't work the way you had hoped? Not that it was wrong or bad, but just didn't work the way we had hoped. And those are some of the items, and I tried to sort them by what kind of problem it may have presented. So I've got gear, and we have typical stuff. There were things that were not labeled, and some of the antennas were not suitable for field day. A couple of safety items, and those fall on my shoulders. There was a hazard that I just flat missed, that I did not mark well, and somebody actually stepped into it. They didn't hurt themselves, but I got reminded that you have to look at a critical eye at everything, not just what you think you see, but what you actually do see. We had one little spider web of wiring that got overlooked, and I'm going to purchase some special tape next time to get that stuff taped down or marked off. Preparation, a couple items there. A couple things under operations. Part of it was we failed to man a code station, and those are those 2 points of whack. So that counts double phone. Is that same as digital?
Same as Digi, yeah.
So if you double our Digi, that at least what the CW probably guys would have got. So, and then the cleanup, and it's kind of tied up to one of those preparation items.
Can you read some of those off for our?
Oh, how do I go backwards?
Back arrow, lower right hand corner. Yep, there you are.
All right, some items not labeled with a name and call sign, and some antennas not suitable under gear. Under safety, that I mentioned that a potential safety hazard not marked, and a spider web of wiring not blocked or taped. Under preparation, the generator, I was told, was hard to start, and the paper plates and napkins were not available for the meal. Under operations, there were 3 items: better control of the band usage, failure to man a Morse code station, and the phone station antennas were too close to the phone station antenna was too close to the digital station antenna for the same band operation. And then under cleanup, a cleaning spray, paper towels, broom, mop, that sort of thing was not available. So any questions on that? Yes, sir.
Yeah, what hazard wasn't marked, so we all know to look for it next time?
It's a big ass hole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I thought we kept him busy. No,
Yeah,
never
I was
mind.
gonna say, big asshole, I fit. Something else.
There is the space.
I marked it outside the hole. Somebody thought that's where the problem was, so they stepped around the marker into the hole. So I need next year to, and I had 14,000 rolls of caution tape. I could have just as easy 2 stakes and put a tape around it, but it was one of those funny things. It wasn't funny to the person that stepped into it. What went well? Whoever thought of bringing ice and water and electrolytes did an outstanding job. There was, 40 gallons of, what do those things hold? 20 gallons apiece, 10 gallons apiece?
They're probably 10.
There were 20 gallons of ice water, plenty of ice, and plenty of electrolytes, and it was hot and muggy, so I certainly appreciated those electrolytes. And a few of them were calorie-free, which suited me just fine. I prefer the calorie-free with some electrolytes. So whoever did that, appreciate it. Thank you very much, did well. The generator, once they got it started, provided on one tank, I think, provided enough power for the entire Evolution. So,
Harry,
yes, sir.
if I may, since I was kind of in charge of the generator, the generator has a little rubber hose that last year we had problems with it, and I discovered a crack in it, so I trimmed the end off and rehooked it. This year the other end went bad, so I trimmed the end off and rehooked it, and we got it started after we got, because it was just sucking air in there. I think it's a vacuum line, Don, isn't it?
Yeah,
So,
controls
anyway,
the regulator.
So now we have I went and bought a piece of brand new hose, and I have not put it in yet. It's in the generator compartment, and before we use the generator, I'm not gonna put it out there. We'll just leave the old one in, but anyway, that should not happen again. And to me, the generator, once we got that problem solved, the generator just purred right along. Now, we used a part of a tank, and when I left at 10 o'clock Saturday night, it was really hard to tell where we were propane-wise, but we were running off one of the tanks, and so it's got an automatic switch that's supposed to switch from one tank to the other. When one goes dry, it switches automatically over. But I didn't trust it, and I didn't want it to go out like at 2 o'clock in the morning in the dark. So I went ahead and switched it to the full tank, okay? And we ran from 10 o'clock at night till the end on the second tank, let's say. The next day I took both tanks and had them filled, and they were both about half full. So I topped them both off, but they took about 2 gallons each, 2.5 gallons each to fill them both up. So basically we used one tank. May or may not have switched over, and someday I'd like to actually see if that auto switch actually works.
You'll just have to
But
stay
anyway.
all night.
Yeah, we actually let's just say we ran the whole thing on one tank of propane. And very happy with the generator.
Okay, thank you. As Steve mentioned, the foot traffic was well above average. We had people coming in late at night with families. I was absolutely astounded. We had 8 or 9 overnighters, which is almost triple what we normally have. It sure makes the night go a lot faster when there's a lot more people in there, if nothing else, chit-chatting and looking. The visitors were promptly greeted, given a briefing, and Bill, if they walked in, Bill drug them over to the Goddess station and got them on the air. And the points that he accumulated reflect that. I was provided with a technical summary of the antenna situation. And I'll get to that in just a second. These are the things that, looking at the problems and looking what went right, what I think we could do in the future to make it better. I think we need to hold a field day prep instead of the month before, which is the week before, the meeting the week before field day, do it the previous month. Finalize the preparations in the June meeting rather than waiting to June to start. Again, what I'll make the statement is if it's not labeled, then it's left and it's mine. And so if you don't want to have to rebuy stuff, then put a label on it, because it'll be mine. I'll build up my supply. We need to have a discussion on antenna selection and separation location, and I'll get to that in just a minute. I need to, again, look at the safety hazards with a critical eye rather than just where I think they are. And if we're fortunate enough to have Awesome again next year, I'll know where those safety hazards are, and if we're not, then I'll just check more carefully. We probably need to work on the generator prior to dragging it up for field day. I'm going to skip that one right now. Attempt to fill the CW station. We lost a lot of points by not having CW. And it looks like we could have 2 digi stations in addition to CW, and maybe 1 or 2 phone stations, depending on how we do the antenna selection and location.
Okay.
We need to continue the GATA, and I'd like to redo the 6-meter station. I know that we're going into a solar minimum, and 6-meter may be not worth the effort, but certainly continue the GATA station. Oh, the one I skipped over there was, I would like, and I'm not making a suggestion or a motion now because it needs to be thought over, but the possibility of the club buying a small crate and stocking it with paper napkins, knives, forks, spoons, paper plates, paper cups, styrofoam cups maybe, Lysol spray, whatever we need to do, so we have that little crate. We can just pop that crate out, do our cleanup. I think in the past we had one. I don't know what's happened to it, but it shouldn't be. My guess was $70 or so to buy the crate and all the stuff to fill it, and then just every year whatever we use just to replace it. So maybe sometime in the future, maybe we can get a motion. Somebody has more comments on that.
We need a
And-
benefactor to take care of that.
Say again, sir?
We need a benefactor to take care of that.
It's called Mr. Walmart.
And we need somebody just to furnish it for us. That's benefactor. I couldn't read that if I was standing.
Up on
in
the
front of it.
screen is a person who I consider quite knowledgeable about antennas sent me this, and I got their permission to put it up there, and I'll tell you who it was in just a minute. But for Will's benefit, it says all antennas should be located 100 feet from the HF radios, and that the 2 vertical antennas within 50 feet of each other, and one of them was mine, and I had to move it because I originally put it in the generator area, and I was getting some RFI or some hum from that generator, and the only other place that I could think of that was anywhere close was too close to Tom's antenna, and I knew that, and so that one is on me. If we run 3A, there are some recommendations of where the antenna should be. This person does not like using the fence for anything. Said the fence is not a ground radial. The vertical antennas, now ground mounted with a feed point less than a foot above the ground, should have all the ground radials placed directly on the ground and none above ground radials. Now, some of this stuff is difficult. For example, the person is recommending LMR 400 size cable. Since the club doesn't provide cable and you have to bring your own, I'm not sure we can just tell somebody they can't use the cable they brought, because if they're doing low power digi or something, they may not need, and they're close, they may not need some expensive piece of LMR 400. If you're running 100 feet or so, then that's probably a good idea. And then inspecting and testing the coax prior to field day with the continuity testing, and using a dummy load to test your power. Jim is the one who provided this, and I have great respect for his antenna knowledge, and I don't have enough. In my backyard, I can put up 3 or 4 and I'm actively using one, so I don't have to worry about the interplay. Some of these clubs, I don't know how they do it, they have dozen radios and they report massive numbers, so maybe this is something that we can get the Brain Trust to work on a really good plan, particularly if we know the location. If we're fortunate enough to get awesome next year, we know where the acreage is, so they can be spotted in the correct spot. If we're in a new spot, we may have to have a search and rescue mission prior to field day to figure out where to spot them. I'll take questions.
If I may, the rule for field day sites is up to 1,000 foot diameter. And we were physically constrained between the high tension lines and the buildings. We were physically constrained as far as that goes. But those other stations, like the 23A, that was one of the contacts that was made, they use their whole 1,000 feet,
Yeah.
1,000-foot circle.
I knew that I was low, under height antenna. That was a compromised antenna. And so I tried to pick a spot. I've got a map that tells me from any location where the majority of the hams are. And so I was trying to find a place that building would give me free spot back east and back west, knowing I was in Texas. I was giving up 0 land and top of 7 land where that building was from me. So, okay, I think Henry, you had a comment, question?
Question, I don't know if it's even possible, if we were able to go back there again, and Bill could probably answer this, but what would be the opportunity to put a non-damaging tripod with a vertical setting on the roof?
I would bet it's somewhere close to 0.
Yeah.
There is access to the roof, but I don't know that I could even
Okay,
arrange that.
If that were possible, we could put
Yeah.
a couple of verticals up there. I've got tripods out the gazoo, but we could set a couple of verticals up there at a different distance. Our biggest problem right now, that little bitty yard out there, and I'm not complaining, you understand, it is what it is, but that little bitty yard doesn't give us a lot of room for antenna separation. So therefore, we're gonna have some inherent problems because of that. And I thought, quite frankly, that's the first field day I've been to in 30 years, so I can't really compare to anything recently. But I'm gonna tell you, I was kinda impressed that it went as well as it did. I thought it was good.
Yeah, but
Everybody did well.
Okay, an after-action report then can generate lots of suggestions and questions, and if you've got questions and comments and suggestions, go ahead and route them to me, because it sounds to me like I've got 2 people in the antenna committee already.
Well, sometimes you're mistaken.
Most of the time.
All right, any general is the next slide, who's the next?
Before you go to your next slide, speaking of antennas, one of the comments that was made to me was that we should consider, instead of using verticals, doing an inverted V with either an end fed or an off center fed antenna.
Get a ticket.
and the reason for that is that you're not trying to get DXCC over a single day, or worked all countries, blah blah blah. You're just trying to make contact with anybody, anywhere, and that's the inverted V gives you that kind of near in effect. But boy, within 500 feet or so, or 500 miles rather, you got a lot of people in there, a lot of field day stations. You go crazy. So you'll
Dave,
also
last
work.
year when I did the
You'll
data
also work
station,
the more distant ones.
I put up that Invis, and I had, now I only got,
No, an
Texas,
invis is
Kansas.
a little different because then you're looking at a more narrow cone than as if you have it.
Right.
And a wonderful opportunity is there's a tree south of the building and we have an air launcher. That'd be dead simple to launch a wire over there and put an inverted V or an end-fed. It could be any type of end-fed. It could even be a.
Okay, sounds like I got 3 people in the antenna committee now.
Yeah, I'm just saying the philosophy is that
Jim, are you taking
you
notes?
want to just get as many people as you can to work, and not concentrate on working Thailand and stuff like that, because that's not
Okay,
the
I
objective.
didn't, like I say, I didn't mean on an after-action report to start, this was my
It's an FYI.
observations of what's good and bad. We have got 6 or 7 months before we need to start gelling plans, and so I would really like to see us maybe go to a 3 or 4 or 5A with some good antennas and just knock the socks out of those folks. Yes, sir.
One last question on my part. When would we know, do you think, whether or not we would be welcomed back?
Probably we won't know for sure until around May or so. If I ask right now, they'd probably say yes, but I don't know what,
You don't know if it'd be holding or not.
I don't know what they'll be doing at that point. And frankly, I don't know what my health is gonna be like then. And I don't know how much of our permission is the fact that I used to work there, and how much of it is we've done a good job and they like us, and the club could meet there without me. I don't know.
Understand?
I don't know.
My point
So-
was just that, you know, obviously the sooner the better if we knew, so that we can make definite plans to be a little definitive in some of these areas, that we can make, if we knew tomorrow that we were gonna be back there, assuming certain things,
Yeah.
then that would make a big difference as far as waiting till the month before,
The
so.
way things are going now, I think the chance of us getting back there is somewhere between 80 and 90%.
Beautiful, thank you.
But I can't do any more than that. I do have one suggestion, one request. If someone would like to donate that box or whatever, please let me know so we don't have 3 or 4 people doing it. So, you know, someone it
Are you
was,
talking
I
about
think,
the tub?
the tub with all that stuff in it. I know that, was that you that suggested we needed someone to donate it?
We need a benefactor, I'll do that.
Okay.
I
Okay.
will do- Just, but I would ask that Terry give me a list of, all the crap that he wants to put in it. Cause, listen, I know nothing about grocery stores, and so I'll get my wife to buy all this stuff.
Yeah, you get with Henry.
I
because
volunteer
Sam
my
says
wife.
he already has a
I
box.
I would say Barbara can probably provide that list 10 times better than we probably could. She's having to use to, you know, clean this or clean that, I suspect.
What, you guys don't clean?
No,
No wonder you smell bad.
I have a wife.
No,
Oh,
what
yeah.
happened,
You can delete
Barbara,
that part, but-
what happened was we got there, we had a roll of paper towels and we had nothing to spray down the tables with.
No, I meant the after action when Terry's accusing me of knowing better than you guys because you guys don't know how to clean.
My mother
Whatever.
would beat me to death if I didn't know how to clean.
Exactly.
Mother, nothing, my wife would beat me to death.
All right.
Right.
Anything else? Henry, I'll make sure you get a list.
If you give me a list,
Yes,
I'll
Clarence.
get it, I have a tub or two, I'll get the tub, I'll fill the tub with that stuff. I mean, you know, I'll take care of that.
Sam said he's gonna coordinate with you, cause Sam wants to participate also.
All right, excellent, okay.
Anything,
that.
Clarence?
One thing you didn't mention was 2 of our visitors were OU police officers, and one of them actually got on the air.
Yes,
I didn't see that part.
yes,
I saw them walk in, but I didn't.
yep, one
I
of
was
them got
busy
on the
doing
air,
other
made a
stuff.
contact.
And it's funny, the master sergeant wanted nothing to do with that radio, and the patrolman said, yeah, I'm on.
Cool.
Yeah,
Well, that proves, see, rank doesn't mean intelligence.
He
Next.
didn't want to show
Yeah.
his underling.
You might, I don't.
All right.
care.
You want me to push the button, or you? Yours. Okay. I think I'm done.